Good day, this is Voice Power Media. I'm Oni. A few months ago, I saw a guy I used to know. He's not a friend though, but we grew up together, we attend the same church. A young, promising, clean, hard-working guy. I felt so sad when I saw him because he was looking dirty, tattered, and unkempt. I was like, what happened? When did this happen? What went wrong? But unfortunately, I couldn't get an answer to all these questions. But the next day I saw him on the road. He was busy smoking marijuana, looking very dirty. I got an answer to my question. He has been taking marijuana, he has been taking weed, and it has affected his brain, it has affected his senses. And then I was like, this guy has lost his senses, he has lost his ambition, he has lost his dreams, he has lost almost his future. And the pathetic thing is that he's still holding on to marijuana. That is to say, he can't do without marijuana. It's really a pathetic thing. You agree with me that for somebody to come out openly on the road, on the main road to smoke igbo, that person has lost it. If you still have your senses, your brain intact, you wouldn't smoke marijuana in an open, in a public place. And again, I started making research on addiction, and peradventure or through divine providence, I met someone. That person has been an addict, or that person was an addict, but to the glory of God, he was able to conquer that addiction. Even though that person don't want to reveal his identity, he wouldn't want to appear on camera, because I understand addiction is not an achievement, so nobody wants to come out openly or in the public to say yes. But I believe that one day he will be a source of inspiration for so many youths who are addicts out there. But the good thing is that I was able to interact with him, and he shared his experience with me, and that is what I want to share with you, with the hope that it's going to help someone out there. So what is addiction? Addiction is a disease that affects your brain and behavior. When you are addicted to a drug or anything, you can't stop. Not when it puts your health in danger, not when it causes financial, emotional, other problems for you or your loved ones. You can't just stop. That urge to get and use the drugs or that substance of your addiction can fill up every minute of the day. Even if you want to quit, you can't quit. I want to make it clear, drug addiction isn't just about heroin, cocaine, or other illegal drugs. You can get addicted to alcohol, nicotine, sleep and anti-anxiety medications, and other legal substances. Mark it, legal substances. You can actually get addicted to them. The earlier you get treatment for drug addiction, the more likely you are to avoid some of the more deadly consequences of this disease. Yes, drug addiction is a very terrible disease. Drug abuse, on the other hand, is when you use legal or illegal substances in ways you shouldn't. You might take more than the regular dose of pills, or use someone else's prescription. Then the question is, why do people abuse drugs? People may abuse drugs to feel good, or to ease stress, or avoid reality. But usually, they are able to change their unhealthy habits or stop using the drug altogether. In other words, someone who abuses drugs can stop anytime, but someone who is a drug addict cannot just stop. Cannot just stop anytime. Stopping is always a tug of war for a drug addict. I was opportune to talk to a friend, as I said earlier, who successfully conquered drug addiction, and he shared his experience with me. He gave me very useful tips on how one can beat addiction, which I'm going to share here with you. I hope this will help someone out there. Even if you're not the one, it can help a loved one, a friend, or a family friend. How do drugs affect your brain? Your brain is wired, or a human brain is wired, to make you want to repeat experiences that make you feel good. So you are motivated to do them again and again. and again. The drugs that may be addictive target your brain's reward system. They flood your brain with a chemical called dopamine. This triggers a feeling of intense pleasure. You keep taking the drug to chase that high. You hear people saying they want to get high. Most youths, why they take drugs is just for them to get high. Over time, your brain gets used to the extra dopamine. So you might need to take more of the drug to get the same good feeling. You have to increase the dosage. Other things you enjoy like food and hanging out with family and friends may give you less pleasure at this time. At this juncture, we are going to look at the 3 stages of addiction. Addiction has 3 stages. It goes stage by stage. So the first stage we are going to talk about is I call it the trial stage. The first stage of addiction, the trial stage. When you take that addictive substance for the first time, the brain produces dopamine, which gives you intense pleasure. And because of that pleasure, you want to do it again and again and again. Who doesn't like pleasure? Before you know it, you do it all the time. Now, how do you overcome this trial stage? At this stage, bear it in mind, you're already an addict because you keep on doing it. You're already an addict, but you can still stop before it gets out of hand. The first thing to do is make up your mind that you can do without whatever you are addicted to. Make a strong resolution to stop. That is the first step. The second thing to do is to stay away from anything that will remind you of what you are addicted to. If it is your friends that introduced you to that substance, unfriend them immediately. If he's a friend, unfriend that friend. If they are a group of friends, unfriend them immediately. If it is a movie you watched, then you must stop watching that movie. Destroy the disc. Stop anything that will remind you of the habit of that addictive substance. Even if you remember it, the most important thing is that you have made a strong resolution, a strong resolve to free yourself from that bad addiction. So when you are done with that, then you move up to the third thing you are supposed to do to overcome this stage. Then be engaged. Engage yourself. Remember the saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. If you are working, be more serious with that work. And if possible, put in extra hours at work. Yes. If you don't have a job, find something new and engage in to learn. Go to church, join any group in your church, learn something new. It can be graphic design, it can be business, there's so many things to learn. Script writing, just learn something. The point is this: stop being lonely or idle for the meantime, except if you want to pray or if you want to have a quiet time to check whether you are making progress with your resolution or not. And that should be after the day's work. Don't stay idle again, don't stay alone. We will go on a short break now, and when we come back, we continue. Please don't go away.
This is Voice Power Media, the voice of the realms. Here we give you the latest on news, politics, entertainment, rights, and faith. We have the best programs to keep you updated, informed, and glued to your phone all day. Voice Power Media News, Ordinary People's Parliament, Entertainment Gist, Nigeria Movies Today, Hard Truth of the Gospel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification button to be notified each time we post a video, and like and comment on our every video so we can serve you better. We are here to serve you.
This is Voice Power Media, the voice of the realm. Welcome back. We are done with the first stage of addiction, which we called the trial stage. Now we move on to the second stage. The second stage is called the effect stage. The effect stage. At this stage, you are now a full addict. You are tired of that addiction, You no longer derive the same pleasure you used to derive from taking that substance. I mean, the pleasure you derived from the first time you took that substance. You no longer derive that pleasure. We're also seeing the negative effect or impact of the habit. But unfortunately, your brain is now in control. It is now a part of your life and you can't do without it. You feel you can't do without it. At this stage, you feel your body cannot rest without taking that substance, even though you want to stop. And it leads to anxiety, restlessness, and depression, which sometimes leads to suicidal thoughts. You find yourself feeling hopeless and thought of killing yourself comes in. The stages are interconnected. So if you were not able to quit at the first stage, you must surely get to this second stage. There is no two ways about it. But if you're watching this video and you're already at this stage, don't panic. You can still beat this addiction. You can still stop it. So, how do we overcome this second addiction? How to overcome this second stage of addiction is this. You still have to apply the methods I said earlier on how to overcome the trial stage. That is the first stage of addiction. You remember the methods I say, like making a very strong resolution or resolve to stop or to quit the addiction. And then the second one, get yourself very busy with something good, healthy, and positive. Just engage yourself constantly. Stay away from anything that will remind you of that addictive substance or drug, or of anything, be it friends, be it movie, anything. And then the fourth thing you have to do is to talk to someone. At this stage, you need a counselor or a therapist. But if you can't find anyone around you, or you can't afford to pay a therapist, talk to a close friend or a family member or church member. Let it be someone you can trust, someone who loves you and willing to make out time for you. Let it be someone you can confide in. Anytime you have the urge to take that substance, talk to that person, run to that person, and listen to his or her advice. And then the fifth one is hate the habit. Don't hate yourself. The reason why you have depression is because when you relapse or when you take that substance, when you take that substance again, you feel bad about yourself, you blame yourself, and then depression creeps in. So, hate the habit, not yourself. Be happy with yourself and keep making effort to quit. You know who you are still who you are. The enemy is that addiction. So that's what you have to fight. And then lastly, love God and read your Bible regularly. It's only the grace of God that can help you beat addiction. Then the third stage is the total dependency stage, the third stage of addiction. At this stage, your brain thinks you need that addictive substance to survive. You feel like if you don't take it, you will die. You try to take that addictive substance at all costs, no matter the danger. If you don't have money to get it, you steal or find any mischievous way to get what you want. A research has shown that 99% of addicts are not in good terms with their family members because they keep on robbing them, or even their parents. They keep on robbing their parents, even their friends. At this stage, you can be called a junkie, but still, all hope is not lost. You can still beat that addiction. So let's quickly look at how you can overcome this third stage of addiction. The first one is find a rehabilitation center and register yourself. If it's a family member, find one for him or her and register her. Secondly, love God and read your Bible regularly. In case you don't know any rehabilitation center, these are addresses and numbers of some rehabilitation centers in Nigeria. You can reach out to them. Don't just sit and wait for addiction to swallow and destroy you totally. Start doing something. The first one is Benchway Rehabilitation. You can also reach out to these people. Momta's Mind and Wellness Studio. Also, Akron Specialist Care Hospital. You can call their number. Even if you can't travel to that place, at least call their number. They will tell you what to start doing at the moment. You can also reach out to Guiding Light Foundation. You can also reach out to Christ Against Drug Abuse Ministry. I'll quickly call out some common addictive substances so that when you see them, you be watchful, you mind how you use them. Alcohol, cannabis or marijuana or dope or herb or tea or hemp or ganja. They've given it so many names, but it doesn't matter. Just know that it's very and highly addictive, and it has rendered so many people useless. Even women take it. We also have cocaine on the list, heroin, hallucinogens. We also have inhalants. You have prescription opioids, also prescription stimulants. You also have tobacco, and then this one, crystal methamphetamine, aka Murumiri. This one is really wreaking havoc in the society, but the society has taken it upon themselves to tackle that matter. If you see the way they punish abusers, but don't just let the society to hold on to you and punish you. The other day they were flogging a guy, and unknowingly to them they flogged the guy to death, even though that is not what they said to do, but it happened. Also, gambling addiction, internet gaming disorder can be classified as behavioral addiction. There is still much debate about whether many behavioral addictions like shopping addiction, sex addiction, and exercise addiction are through addiction. Research is still needed to confirm that. Some women like shopping, they are addicted to shopping. Even when they don't need something, they will shop. Even when they don't have money, they will shop. They can steal to shop. Sometimes they shop and give it out. That is an addiction. Some people are addicted to sex. They just keep on going up and down looking for people to make love to them. After that, they feel bad. So it's an addiction of its own, and people that are addicted to those things, they are struggling. If you see yourself exhibiting these symptoms I'm going to list down here, or if you see your loved one exhibiting them, just know that you are gradually becoming an addict, and it is time to fight and win that addiction. So be watchful. I'm going to list out the signs and symptoms. Once you see yourself exhibiting them, or you see your child or your loved one exhibiting them, it's time to act. The signs and symptoms vary from one person or from one addiction type to another, but some common symptoms of addiction include: 1, an inability to stop. You can't stop taking that again. It's as if you are now dependent on that. That is the first sign. The second sign is changes in mood, appetite, and sleep. The third one is continuing despite negative consequences. It's killing you, but you can't stop. You see denial, engaging in risky behaviors, feeling preoccupied with the substance or that behavior. You see legal and financial problems. Of course, you have legal issues when you're an addict, even financial problems. You see yourself losing interest in other things you used to enjoy. You lose interest in that because that addiction will preoccupy every part of you. Another one is putting the substance or behavior ahead of other parts of life, including family, work, studies, and other responsibilities. You can't think straight again. The only thought is channeled towards that object of your addiction. Also, using increasingly larger amounts of a substance. You have to watch it. Also, taking more of the substance than you should. Taking more of the substance than you intended. Withdrawal symptoms. And when you come to these withdrawal symptoms, it's not as if the person just wants to withdraw. When I talk to the person, that my friend said that sometimes it's not as if they want to stay on their own, but when they try to socialize with people, they find out that when they come in contact with their friends, they don't make sense again. They talk out of point. And when they talk out of point, their friend will just push them aside, as in ignore them, because they're not making sense. So if they ignore once, twice, they will also carry themselves and stay on their own. So you see them being withdrawn. So we'll be stopping here for now. In our next edition of this program, we'll be teaching you how you can help an addict when they come to you, because you don't treat them anyhow. You treat them with utmost care. We'll also be telling you how you can know an addict when you see one. If you're a parent watching me out there, how do you know whether your child has become an addict and needs your help, even without that child telling you? Most times, addicts look normal, but they are not. So how do you know an addict? And how do you help an addict? So, in our next program, that is what we'll be discussing. Feel free to leave your comments in this comment section. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And do have a wonderful day. Bye. This is Voice Power Media, the voice of the realm.